Hey, I'm not really that funny. I'm not a stand-up comedian. That's why I'm sitting my ass down. I can't remember my damn jokes. That's why I wrote them down. I want to start this off with something serious, which is probably something a little weird to do, but I got to get it off my chest a little bit. You know, I never told anyone this before. My mother was a hermaphrodite. So, I wasn't born through any immaculation or immaculate conception or whatever the term of it is. I was born more through like masturbation. Have you ever gone to McDonald's and ordered like a lot of food and walk away? What about you go to a restaurant and keep ordering things not on the menu? You go to a drive-through walking because you ain't got no damn car, and you know they close at a certain time but the drive-thru's still open. College days, you go to the drive-thru and you wait for them to ask, how can I help you, what would you like to order, and you say, nothing for me, thanks. Like I said, this is amateur, probably worse than amateur if there's a word for that. So my tenants wanted to know if they would receive anything new after I raised the rent. I told them, yeah, a new damn bill. But motherfuckers hate landlords. We all know that. And we get no love, but we damn sure get a lot of excuses about why you motherfuckers can't pay the bill on time. You don't choose diarrhea. Diarrhea chooses you. And when it calls, you gotta go. Let it flow. People say watch what you eat. It's not like I'm blind. Things that are inappropriate. Things that make you go, Playing staying alive at a funeral. Let's talk about inconvenient boners. A children's party? That's right. Places where you don't want a boner. A funeral. Walking out with the casket and you're one of them. That's not a good place. Let me think. A job interview. Church. You're walking up to pay the tithes. And praise God. That's right. Places where you don't want a boner. Talking to your best friend is not a good time. Talking to your aunt with one is kind of hard to explain. That's right. Places where you don't want a boner. When your girlfriend introduces you to her father. So these are things men have to think about. Things that make you go, You can argue both sides of an issue. But of course some will say you can't argue both sides of the issue. While of course you can't outsmart stupid. Things that make you go, Y'all ever heard people say it's always the last place you looked? Well, fucking duh. It damn sure wasn't the first place I looked. Of course it's the last place I looked. I'm not gonna keep looking for something after I freaking found it. What do you say? It's always the second to last place I looked. The number one cause of death is living. The number one cause of divorce is marriage. So in heaven, when the sun is out and you're sweating and burning up, do you say it's hot as hell? So the gates of heaven were closing and only you and 8 others were trying to get in. What would you do to try to enter? Or would you, let others go before you? And there was only room for 7 people. So if you found out Colonel Sanders owned slaves, would you stop eating at KFC? Wouldn't it be a lot more fun if instead of taking blood at the doctor's office, they asked for semen? All your clients will be on time and much more relaxed. Sure, it's a routine medical procedure. Insurance covers it. They already make us turn our head to the left and cough. I'm just saying, while you're down there, So here's something you don't want to see when skydiving. A tornado? I can't find the string. Another word that you don't want to hear when you're skydiving? Uh-oh. That's a word we don't use often, but when it's used, you pay attention. When you're with a significant other, but you don't want to be with that person forever, and you're in the middle of intimacy, and you're in that moment when you're stroking good, and you know, that's not how I stroke, but just imagine you're stroking, and then you hear, uh oh. You don't choose diarrhea. Diarrhea chooses you. It's also funny how some words stay the same and didn't get lost in translation. You know, like the words oh no or the word uh oh. No means the same thing in a lot of languages. Try saying yes and see how far that's going to get you. The word okay also slips in as one of those cross language words. Cross language, I don't know if the word really exists. You know, did it choose to be that way? Was it born that way? Do we have transgender words in English? Spanish and Italian have gender words. Then they have what? Celibate words? I think they're called neutral. And maybe it takes some words time to figure out who they are. Any boxing fans out there? A man shadow boxing is down 2-1 on the count. A hero only dies once, but a coward dies 1,000 times. This one kills me a little bit. Let's think about that. If I put a gun to a hero's head and I put a gun to a coward's head, you're telling me I'm gonna call bullshit on that one. Am I the only one who washes their hands before they eat and hates when you see someone you know that wants to shake your hand? I don't know why people talk so bad about the hood. There's not many places you can go where they'll clean your car for free. Shout out to the hood. Well, actually, there's enough shots out there already, so let me just say peace to the hood. Let me tell you when you're in the hood. You know when you're in the hood when you have to buy an extra lock for your door because you're worried about your landlord robbing you. He comes knocking on my door after I bought a new TV and PlayStation 5 trying to get inside. Why am I living in the hood with a new 72-inch flat screen on the PlayStation 5? Well, the question is the answer. Poor life decisions. So this landlord, he's trying to say he hears water in my apartment and he needs to get in. But he can't get in because I'm the only one with the key that I specifically got to keep his ass out. He's talking about I gotta give him a spare key for my lock in case of emergencies. I tell him I ain't got no emergencies and I ain't got no damn spare key, and this key, it can't be duplicated. And then this man, he gonna tell me something I ain't never heard before. This man's gonna tell me that he's short on the mortgage payments and he needs a few bucks to hold him over or the banks are gonna evict us all. I said, that's not how it works, man. I'm the tenant. And then he's gonna tell me, that's why I'm raising the rent. So I said, you haven't done nothing. I don't see no renovations or improvements. I want to know what I'm gonna get or what am I gonna see when he raises the rent. This man's gonna tell me, yeah, you gonna see a new bill. I tell you, it's hard being the landlord and the tenant, sitting there having conversations with myself. And then this man, he's gonna tell me, yeah, you gonna see a new bill.